Wait, give him his way. What do you want to do?
You know what?
What do you
Just run it.
No, it's okay. Let's do yours.
You know what?
You start ducking me after this.
Edit like I'm not getting done. I'm not getting done. I'm gonna need you to cut. Ava, if you tell us what we're gonna be talking about today.
We're going to be talking about how effective the lockdown was.
First
off. Yeah.
Oh, there he is.
Just go from there.
He's decided to come back.
Give me a sec.
So yeah, we started. Now you have to introduce yourself, Mr. D. Give us a wave.
Hello, my name's
Thank
Demetrius.
That's it. Good, thank you. Yeah, Ava was just explaining what she wants us to talk about today.
Sorry, I missed that.
Nah, she can go again. So I think she said something about lockdown.
How effective was it?
No,
How effective was it?
Yeah.
Is that directly to me?
Like, I think, for me, it wasn't even that much effective because I was still going out anyway.
You one of them?
Yeah, I'm one of them.
Essential workers.
No, not even. Not
I'm
even.
essential.
My job
I'm
was,
essential.
my job was the first job to get locked down because obviously I've worked with kids in a youth center. So, like, I was just one of the first people that got cut off. It's peak.
Well, for me, I guess it was somewhat effective, like in terms of like my safety, I guess. Like, obviously, I work in a nightclub, so I'm a student, but I also work in a nightclub. So obviously, I see on a weekend, I see like close to 1,000 people, 2,000 people, Friday, Saturday, and like I have to pick up people's cups and stuff. People hand me money, so like I'm germ central. Like especially as like the whole coronavirus thing was like, or COVID thing was kicking off. Like we were having to be like wear gloves, use like bacterial gel and all that a lot more than we probably used to. But yeah, like for health wise, definitely like it was effective for me. But like mentally, I wouldn't say it was that effective. No, like
still doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
I'm surprised actually that you didn't catch that as soon as you were working in a nightclub and there's that many people. Like by the time the announcement came out that there was such thing as Corona, I thought at least 20% of them people would have had it. Because it's
look, I'm gonna throw it out there. I think I've had it.
Who had it?
I think I had it and never got tested or anything like that. But I swear to God, I'm like fully being serious. That
was literally what I was about to say. Like, I'm convinced late 2019 to early 2020, I think I had it because I do remember a point when I just felt horrible. I felt like genuine death. I was like, I don't know what's going on with me, but I just assumed it was the flu. So I just like rode my bang, carried on.
Yeah, and very into the next month for me. I was so ill. I haven't been that ill in like a really long time. I thought it was the flu, but I've never really had the flu before. And I didn't really have like all of the symptoms of the flu either. It was so bad where like I physically like couldn't turn my neck because like my neck glands, like my lymph nodes were so swollen and I like couldn't breathe. And it lasted for like 10 days. And then literally like 2 weeks later, I saw this thread on Twitter and the person was literally like, what my experience as a 20-year-old healthy woman was like with coronavirus. And it was like step by step exactly how I felt. And I was really creeped out.
No way. That's crazy. And I didn't even know that. That's actually bad.
I like fully lost my voice and everything. Like I couldn't speak. Like
Yeah, like I thought I had like freshers flu again. I honestly was like, because it felt sort of like what I vaguely remember my first year of uni to be like, where I was just really ill for like a week. But this one was lasting way longer, and I was just like, and like you said, I can't remember exactly, but I just know I've never felt that unwell before. Like I'm not the fittest person. Like I drink, I smoke. There's no point lying about it. But at the same time, I'm not obese. I don't have any health conditions. So I was like, I have no understand. I do not understand why I feel this bad. Like, what is happening? But like I said, about a week or two later, I was kind of fine, and I was like, I've been fine since. But nah, man, I think I had it then as well. I'm not gonna lie.
Manny, did you come across it?
No.
Nah, you were just safe in your little burrow.
I'm just out here chilling, like, nah, bro. Nope. Healthy all the way through. Nothing really changed for me. Only thing that happened was probably like a bump in productivity. That's about it.
More stress.
Productivity in what sense? Like just work, you mean? Or
Oh, I don't have to
productive
go all the way to university to go and like do my work. I could just work from home because I have like almost everything I need except for some specific programs. So it was literally like I woke up, went to my desk, worked, came back to my bed, slept. Got to go to the kitchen because the food's right there, done. Need to poop, right there, done. It was just convenient. It was like, what, a couple steps between everything. So it was just like, this is calm, you know?
Nah.
I could get so much more
Nah,
done.
man.
I actually
Nah,
find
for me.
Right. You got another question then?
Okay. So there was a lot of, I don't know. So a lot of people said that coronavirus came from a lab or from the guy there at the back. So I want to know what you guys think, where it came from, where it originated from.
Oh, that's so from
If
my
I hear anything about 5G, I'm gonna.
no, that's a separate thing though, isn't it? The 5G thing.
No. They claim it's the same thing. Like that's what's caused this whole bloody thing.
People believe that.
Because wait, is my so like from what I've seen, I heard about the whole bats thing, but then I heard about the fact that it was extracted from some sort of animal. I don't know what animal, because the virus itself has been around for ages. And then scientists were testing on it to try and cross it over into humans.
Do you think it was man-made in a lab?
The virus itself exists as a bacteria or whatever, but it wasn't in human genes. So doing tests in a lab, but they didn't realize what it was going to be used for. So the scientist that was working on it was lied to about it, basically. And
yeah, but what was the intention for it to be used for in this theory? Like, why would they have done that?
I
think it's a bioweapon.
Yeah, see, I think that as well, but they just weren't told. So if you look, there's certain doctors in America, because it was in 3 different labs. I think it was 2 labs in America and 1 in China. And the ones that were revoking against it, because I caught this like halfway through, I didn't know what they initially was what they were using it for. But the ones that were revolting were saying why the other scientists raising up and like combating this when they found out the truth. Some people were saying maybe, well, they don't want to lose their job, they have to still survive somehow. So regardless, they don't want to obviously lose their money or income or whatever. Just because some people are protesting about it.
For me, the reason why I think it was man-made was the speed of which China kind of shut down its borders, but in specific places. So it originated, the one consensus people have come to is that it originated in China, in Wuhan. All right, that's fine. So the first thing the Chinese government did when they found out about this outbreak, or from what I heard, I preface this by saying, because I know this is going on the internet, I should really state this, that I have not actually researched this further. It was just something I kind of heard, and I'm not taking it for gospel, but it does somewhat make sense from some of the other reports.
It's kind of consistent with what I heard, because I think that's how it ended up breaking out in China so much, was because they kept crossing the research between America and China, because it was being developed in 3 different labs.
Yeah, but the thing that I heard was that they closed down the border of Wuhan, so that people couldn't leave Wuhan to go into like the rest of China. But they left the airports open. which makes no sense to me. Like unless you want it to spread, but somehow you got a cross contamination, and like the other parts of China still got infected as well. Because one of my friends who I talk to quite a lot lives in China, and like had to go through everything that was happening there, and he lives in Hong Kong, I think it is. So, you know, it affected like all of China. But why would they close the borders to Wuhan but leave the airports open? Like in the first week when it was like said to have been this outbreak, 5 million people pretty much came in and out of that country. In and out of that airport.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like how you gonna?
Yeah.
That's why I'm thinking like that can't be a mistake. You know what I mean? I know this might sound a little tinfoil hat, like but that can't be a mistake to me. Like you must know, like if you're going to be closing borders because of a virus, you will close it. The airport should have been the first thing you're closing.
Yeah,
I do think it was. I was gonna let you speak.
No, I wasn't. I was just sorry.
But I do think like it's probably like they have there's a procedure for everything. Like, so there's an outbreak. What level is it at the moment? And there's a natural response to that level. So it might just be to the level of like what they thought the virus was. Their response was close down Wuhan, and then it came to a different level, and then it came to pandemic, and every country had a different response to it. But like, what I feel like there's so much gossiping, but it's like what I heard was
what I heard.
Let's see this.
Yeah, I was like,
right now.
I think I read this from a news report though. I don't know if it was like Fox or CNN or somewhere, but the general like thought process that they had was the Chinese were basically like trying to compete with America in terms of vaccination, and they were developing like a new faster way to sort of compete with them, and that was one of the viruses that they were like creating a vaccine for and sort of developing. And basically that's when it sort of got out. I don't know how it got out, but I think the general consensus here is that it came from a lab. Probably one of my thoughts on it, I think it's pretty like stupid almost. Like it sounds so cartoony, like something came from a lab and now the entire world's in panic, like compared with the other like things that are stacked on it. It's just
sounds like another Marvel film.
Yeah.
Okay, that kind of feeds back into what Ava said though, like at the beginning, is like, do you think this was man-made or not? Because like what we've been saying the whole time about it, I believe that it was a bit more like a bioweapon, because if what you said is true, Calvin, that it was a virus that was trying to create a vaccine for.
Yeah.
Why were they trying to create a vaccine for a virus?
Something that's not already out. Yeah.
That's not out. You know what I mean? Like, create a virus just so you could create an like an antidote for it, a vaccine for it. That makes no sense. Like,
but yeah,
go on,
I think like you have to consider like coronavirus itself is like is already out there, and I think probably that strain was already in existence. And they
but this is what I was saying. I don't know if you heard earlier, Cal, but my thing was that the virus already exists as a virus, but it's just there wasn't a strain that's in humans. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They were testing how to cross gene or whatever, which is probably why they would have been creating a vaccine, but it got out somehow, and people don't know what they were making. Like scientists that was behind it didn't know that's what they were creating it for. They just know the government commissioned them to do this job. But they
that's like some Dr. Manhattan stuff, that is, man. It's a proper. That's how they made the atom bomb. They got a bunch of different doctors to make different parts of it, and then the guy Hoffenstein stayed, or whatever his name was, to pull it together. But yeah, that's my thoughts on the whole bloody coronavirus COVID thing. Like, I think it was man-made personally. What they were making for, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think everyone kind of agrees. Yeah, it was man-made. Like, some people think it was made with good intentions, others don't. Like, but I can get where they're coming from. Like, why would you, like, work on a vaccine for something that isn't currently in the world? And their, like, argument is that China's trying to compete with America because there's such a massive profit margin in it. But it's like, it's kind of stupid still.
Next question.
Oh wait, the ladies didn't have anything to say about it. Okay.
Does anyone else have anything to say? I realised that we very, very much dominated that conversation there, so like that's why I stopped talking. I was like, I haven't said anything yet.
Ladies.
Hmm?
So what do you think?
Many just wants to sleep, bro.
You literally just woke me up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it was a good fucking nap. I think I was in the middle of a Transformers dream, and you just caught me off guard, didn't it?
Whoops.
My dreams are fire. But I don't know. I don't really have anything to say because I had to like talk to a few people to really like get an understanding of the situation. So
I feel
Yeah.
like the least controversial opinion here, but I really do just think that it was like wet markets and stuff. Like, not being funny, but I think everything that's happening at the moment kind of just proves that if the government want to kill people, they're going to kill people. They don't need to be subtle about it. They don't need to hide what they're doing. They're just going out and doing it. And
Wipe
like,
our whole population, no sweat.
I mean, they don't give a fuck. Like, clearly, they don't care. But
I mean, Boris said he didn't care.
Yeah.
Boris like, people are gonna die.
yeah, he's like, that sucks for you. I'm gonna be here. But
As for me, I'm
But then he
fine.
got it.
I've got the tap on tap, like it's fine. I think that like viruses and stuff, they're inevitable. Like in our lifetime, we've already had multiple, and that's just like that's human nature. Like humans are constantly in contact with each other, and we're constantly spreading germs. We're constantly getting in contact with like different animals. The animals are going all over the world, and then we're like eating them. Like, what do we expect to happen? They're dirty as hell. And like scientists are like constantly saying as well, like that they've been expecting something else to happen. There was that one guy who even said that he like predicted basically a bunch of the things that have happened to do with coronavirus and stuff, and he even like specifically pointed out that because of something to do with their DNA and shit compared to ours. And like, if it didn't happen now, there would have been something else in a couple of years anyway.
Look at this girl.
Monique, what are you doing?
I need to use the toilet, so my friend's here will fill my spot. I really desperately need it.
Yeah. Your people's company. All right. Mute your mic. Don't want to hear you. Right. How long have we spent on that topic? We can move it along swiftly.
Can we go up to what's trending?
What's trending on the game?
Yeah.
Already? Bruh, we still need another topic. We've only crossed one. We spent like 20, 40 minutes on one.
Yeah, but you can have a break with the game. You know what I'm saying?
Minute's gone, so let's do another one. And then when it comes back, then maybe. So let's lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood.
What was your one gonna be? Because I've got one as well.
What's yours?
What was mine's to
You
do?
two should know this like before you started. Like,
you should know.
Mine's
this.
got something to do with like the protests and like.
Nah, bro. Nah, that's too hot. That's too hot. We need to lighten it.
hot. That's exactly what you want. If you want this to pick up traction, you need to talk about what's hot.
I tried telling him this, but he's
We're gonna do it after.
in his way. Give him his way. What do you want to do?
Alright, you know what? Just run it.
No, it's okay. Let's do yours.
Just run it. You
I'm
know what?
expecting people to start doxing me after this.
Edit, like, no, I'm not getting doxxed. I'm not getting doxxed. I'm gonna need you to cut out that.
I need you to cut out that bit when I said that I'm currently living in Scarborough. No one needs to know that. Like, nobody needs to know that.
If they forgot, you just reminded them.
Well, is this bit going into the video? What we're doing now? Then I don't want to be a part of this. You don't have my permission to put this online. Like,
No
I
privacy.
didn't come here for this level of unprofessionalism. I promise you that. You'll be hearing from my lawyers.
Your big sister.
You don't want her. You don't want to hear from her. I'm telling you. Like, she'll kill you for free.
Right. What are we saying though about George Floyd?
Fam, that whole situation has left
God.
me in such a weird mind space. Like,
How
Oh,
I've heard theories about that as well, though. You see the same
Shit, one
theories.
second, sorry.
Yeah. Mute your mic.
Hello?
Oh, really?
Hello.
You're going to do this now? Okay.
I've heard theories about even him as well, though, but I want to hear what else everyone's heard, because I haven't really spoken to a lot of people about it.
It's mad. Like, the fact that people can even defend blatant murder is crazy to me. Like, I saw, like, so I posted something on Instagram earlier. So Sony, like, sort of said that they'd delay releasing the PS5,
PS5,
like,
yeah.
all of that. And I saw a comment that read, imagine if this happened to white people. Like, freaking, I couldn't even understand it. Like, his like entire phrase was like almost, imagine if this happened to white people, no one would be talking about it. And it's like, mate, it doesn't. That's the point. That's the entire point in all of this. Like, white people aren't like being killed like at a random almost, like with no sort of reasoning or restraint. Like, literally the guy was killed. Like, it wasn't a mistake. You don't sit in someone's throat for like 7 minutes and think, they'll be fine.
9 minutes. But
9 minutes.
it's those people who like say like that don't understand what white privilege is, and it's like,
yeah,
and it's like one of the best ways to I saw someone explain it is, and like this, I feel like it should be mentioned that we all live in the UK, and the racism here is nowhere near as upfront and blatant, you know, as it is in the US. Like, it is easy here, but it's not like we don't have any. And like, obviously our police can't just carry guns around just all willy-nilly like they do there. But the way that like someone best explained white privilege to others was that just the simple notion of, if they get pulled over in America, like black people will put all their license, registration, everything. Most people put that in your glove compartment. You know, that's what it's designed for. It's designed to hold things. So, you know, you put things into your glove compartment so that you don't need to worry about it. You know where it is. Like, certain things are put in the overhead compartment purely because they know that's not enough space to hide a gun or anything like that. So they're not reaching for anything, like, because like, if they reach for their glove compartment, they could be going for a weapon and they could get shot. And the pure belief that me reaching for something could be the end of my life, and like white people just don't even have to, that thought doesn't even cross their mind. It just doesn't cross their mind that
police in America is just savage. They're just savage anyway. So I was thinking to myself, like, because I've seen some stuff to do with police in America, and it has nothing to even do with black people. I just reckon they're just savage anyway in America. And the theory that I was hearing behind it was that guy, the black guy, George, was a part of Freemason, and he knows that police officer. So yeah, exactly. That's the theory that I heard. Yeah, so that's
this is out there. This is out there. This is definitely out there.
That is tinfoil.
Yeah, no one even considered the fact that he might have known the police officer. So apparently there was a grudge between them two anyway.
Security did know him.
Yeah.
They worked together. So, what's this have to do with Freemasons, Greg? This is what I'm trying to figure out right now.
Apparently that's how they had a connection anyway, to know each other. That's what I heard. So
So
when you
they're
look
probably
at
the
it
same.
from a perspective of, say,
that officer, like, have you seen the amount of formal complaints that he's had filed against him for like racial issues, for like beating up women and stuff like that? Like, this is not the first time. This is just an overly aggressive, power hungry, racist guy.
So he was already like that anyway.
Yeah.
That was exactly. So in my mind, does it really have anything to do with his color if that was a personality trait of the police officer anyway?
But would he have a problem with him?
If he was,
how many other people has he worked with in his life and not killed? You know, this one guy that hasn't really.
So this is the question that I'm putting. I'm just putting that question out there because we're so caught up on the fact that it's a white against black that relationship.
I know, the thing that I think.
Oh, where's he gone?
Like if you saw the other three people, the other three police officers that were there, that were witnessing this man do this, it wouldn't it shouldn't have got that far. Like
because there was other people. Yeah, there was other police officers there. Yeah.
He was already handcuffed. What more could this person do that could have really put your life in jeopardy? You know, that you needed to restrain him in the manner that you were doing it. And then I also saw the video of a different angle of when they had him in the police car, and
he wasn't doing anything. He wasn't doing anything. Yeah, he was just normal.
Yeah.
He gave.
Why did he need to come out of the vehicle and be on the ground?
Yeah.
Exactly. There was three of them in the vehicle. While that same Chinese man that was in the first video that was shown is still just standing there like a bloody cock at this point, just in the background watching it all. Like
he's like, he's fine,
doing anything.
Step back, he's fine. Like, hey,
you know what? But this is going back to the point that I made, that I think that police officers in America are just savage anyway. And I wish I knew this topic was going to come up, because I would have got a video. I saw another video of a police officer just beating a random dude anyway. And his partner, which was a woman, was just standing there acting as if it's normal. The guy was punching the other guy in the head and everything.
And the guy was black, wasn't he? I know what video you talk about.
He wasn't, and I wish I had that.
If we're thinking about the exact same video, because I saw this yesterday, and what I'll probably do is, if you want to potentially cut it in, I'll send you the video that I'm thinking about, because someone sent it to me.
We'll see if it's the same one. And it was a man and a woman, and he was beating the other guy. And
was he not? Wasn't the guy in like a jersey or something? And he was standing there with his back towards. Yeah, just leaning on him, proper wailing on. The guy's black. The guy was black. Like, this is the thing when it comes. And then I've seen other videos where this guy, like a white guy, will be running around, throwing punches at someone, like verbally abusing them, and these police officers will have the utmost patience. Like, come on, Jerry, you need to stop now, Jerry. Come on, you need to stop now, Jerry. If this was a black person who had done any of those things to them,
raise his voice.
A gun's being pulled instantly. Like, this is the reason why this whole thing has become to the state that it has. Is that going back to what you said originally, Greg, is it might not. He may have done this to other people. Even if that man in this situation was a white man, he would have probably still done it. But I think the reason that it sparked so much issue
is because he died.
Because he died. It was on video, and there was 3 other police officers there that didn't stop him. Like, how are you going to allow this man to kill someone and then not even attempt to stop it? And then it just opens up so many more questions.
It's just Pete. No, it has to get to that point.
Even if it was a white guy, he probably would have still done it. But I mean, look at how they do treat the white guys that are being arrested. They don't treat them the same. It's not the same.
No, that's the point I was making. I was saying, even if he did do that to a white person, like, that's beside the point. Like I know they don't treat white people like that in America. Like, police officers don't. But at the end of the day, because it was a black man, because it was in
he
such a
died.
short time from that Amar Aubrey situation, and because this was a whole crackpot of a situation. 2020 has been wild. Like, it has been wild from start to bloody. We ain't even finished. We literally got halfway into the year, and like, it is literally becomes such a point. It was like it was almost set up to be this disastrous.
We're just in hard mode.
Yeah, like from potential World War III to Australia pretty much burning to the ground, Kobe dying, then this whole virus has finally took a proper effect that is causing people to stay in their houses, losing their jobs, fearful of even if they do get ill, especially in America where they have to pay for health insurance, can they afford it? And then like I said, America's now experiencing the highest unemployment rate it's had in years. Like, and then a black man's gone down. A black man's gone down because he was jogging, and these two white men believe they had the right to stop him at gunpoint, and then it took them how long to bloody like catch them? Or no, not catch them, like arrest them, and then George gets killed. Like, it was just something was going to happen. Something was going to happen. Like. And then you've got the whole Breonna Taylor situation as well. Like, it's just, yeah.
Hey, drink some water. Drink some water, D. We've set him off down. Drink some water.
Sorry.
Okay, do you guys think the protests are giving black people more of a bad image because now that they are looting and like burning buildings down and stuff?
No. Not just black though. I see white people out there doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I think give anyone a reason to riot.
Doing it, and of the police starting shit.
I think people are just waiting. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was inevitable with everything that's been happening. Like, I don't think at this point there is any other way to respond if it's not with anger and with violence, and people saying like, oh, being violent doesn't get you anywhere. Like, that's kind of been the only way we've ever got anywhere with anything, is by taking it, not by like sitting by and like asking nicely, because that's what people have been doing up until now. And if it had worked, then we wouldn't still be talking about this shit.
You know,
like, really crazy. Like, when you do a 1-to-1 of it, like, and so like we have like peacefully protests like loads of times, and we've like been violent as well, like other times, like when the issue is serious enough. And I think that's probably one of the reasons we're like being like really aggressive right now. But when you look at somewhere like Hong Kong, like last year, right, well, protesting for over like probably like 2 months, I think, against like China trying to gain more control over Hong Kong. Like, they were peaceful at the start and they saw no change from it and went very violent, like extremely. Like, they were shutting down airports, like, in the name of their movement. Like, so when you compare like this, like this destruction of Hong Kong's economy to us just saying, yo, we just want a little bit of rights as well. Like, it's like, it's crazy to say that this isn't a good way of protesting. Like, everywhere you look, like, this is one way that people protest. Like, saying that being violent doesn't get your message across and paints you in a bad way, it's just stupid. Like, when you sign up to a society, you say that you won't be violent and you won't steal and you won't loot and you won't like destroy anything. But when that society is killing you like indiscriminately, what are you going to do? Like, are you really going to obey the rules? No, you're going to break them. Like, you're going to show that you don't care anymore and force a change.
Yeah. The funny thing about the rioting situation in America, this would be a short one, is just the fact that the whole country was born off it. It was born from them rioting. Like, they rioted against the British because they felt like their voices weren't being heard, that they were being taken advantage of, that all these big horrible things that black people in America are currently wanting is the same reason that freedom and liberty was created in America. Like, so for all these people that claim that writing isn't help anything, your whole country was born off it. Like, I just find it the most ridiculous phrase. Like, do you think the people who created America cared how bad they looked? Like, you know, it's one of those things to me.
I saw somebody posting something about it on Facebook, and they said, I don't know why people are doing it. Surely that's just going to make the authorities angry. And
they've deployed the military, so
that's the point.
And they've arrested more than 50,000 protesters.
Yeah, and they would rather do that than just arrest the people that murdered him. They're willing to literally kill more of their citizens because they refuse to admit that they're wrong about something like you said that they've been doing for hundreds and hundreds of years themselves. It's all pick and choose. They see themselves as like America the Free, America the Great, but only when it's beneficial to them. You know, like the people, all of the pro-lifers and stuff. Where are they? Like, a black woman just had to go through a miscarriage because the police beat her with a baton. Where are the pro-lifers now? Like, where are they standing up for that? Like, it's really pick and choosy. I don't know, man.
Yeah.
And I think, like, the crazy thing is, like, there's so many peaceful protests going on. Like, it's not like they're all rioting. Like, there's so many peaceful ones, but, like, it doesn't send a message. Like, no one's talking about that, is it? People are protesting peacefully. Like, celebrities are out there protesting peacefully, but no one cares. Like, the media just cares about the one thing that will stand out, like, and that will bring, like, attention. Like, and it's just stupid.
But wasn't there a
classic.
peaceful one that started yesterday, and apparently the police tried to shut it down, and Donald Trump was just basically not admitting like it was a peaceful protest, and the police just ruined it by trying to get everyone off the street.
So they sent off like a bunch of like gas bombs and shit, so that he could. It was a peaceful protest, so that he could take his little photo with the Bible.
I just saw a video.
That was it.
I saw a video where a police car was rammed into the protesters.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Insane.
I didn't know what to say. I didn't even know what to say about that one.
Yeah, it's absolutely nuts. I was talking to my stepdad about it just before we came on here, and I was saying, if you remember, I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, somebody did that on London Bridge. They drove into a bunch of people on London Bridge, and you know what they called him? A fucking terrorist. Yeah.
I remember that.
They had police cars doing it for no reason. That's all fine. It's all good.
Bruh.
I think what makes me the most heated about it is like people, like the police apologists being like, oh, like not all police are bad. It's like if the police really had a problem with it, they would just not do it. Like, have you ever heard of striking? Like, strikes are a thing. Teachers do it all the time. The police have done it before. It would not be hard for them to just refuse to do it. They don't care.
I feel like they enjoy it, man.
Yeah.
Holiday, sure.
It's the whole power trip, isn't it? Like, you know, if you feel like you're a person who has no power, the little power that you do have, you cling onto it. That's what it kind of feels like to me. It's like bouncers, you know. It's like bouncers outside a nightclub. They feel like the most entitled people in the world, like because they have a little green strap on their arm. Like, mate, get a grip. Get a grip. You stand outside of a fucking doorway looking at people's ID, and you still let underage girls in here. Yeah, I don't
say you choose is like not you.
Not you, mate. Not tonight. Not tonight. Oh, that 12-year-old girl. Yeah, she can go in though. Like,
yeah,
it's so dumb. It's so dumb. But yeah, like they get a power trip. They get high off of the little power that they can achieve. So they cling to it and they do anything that they want.
Right, guys, we're gonna take a break with a game, and then we're gonna go on to the last topic. All right, which one are we doing today?
Dictionary.
A game.
I don't want to talk about what's trending because I just went through what's trending and it's just getting worse.
Yeah. Quickly, do you think this whole blackout thing is worth it? Like, blackout.
It's not doing anything. I think it's raising awareness, but that's about it.
Yeah.
It is mostly just raising
The
awareness.
idea I'm sure is
Like-
nice, but yeah, it's like the chains, the story chains that people are doing. Like, what's that doing? How does that help? Like
Like-
what?
You black out your Instagram, and like I saw these meme pages doing it, but then posting more memes after, and I'm like, I thought it was just not doing things today.
I've
Like,
done my bit.
I posted my black photo. That's it.
Yeah.
Moving
And I've
on.
seen so many people doing the blackout, and it's the only thing that they have posted, and they
Yeah.
haven't
I'm not
said
gonna lie.
anything else. They
I'm not
fortunately
gonna lie. I'm one of them. I am one of them. Like, I don't know. I don't know what I'm posting though. Like, I don't like to post things when I don't know the entire context behind it. Like, you know, and I'm not a kind of guy to just have a picture, a video of George Foreman on my phone. Like,
Just like
just there. Like, so I feel a bit awkward just uploading something that could later be pointed out as just completely incorrect and false. But like, you know, I decided to take part in this blackout thing because it was just like it seemed like the right thing to do. But I also realised when someone pointed out to me that I shouldn't have put the hashtag Black Lives Matter in it, because obviously you are blocking out like a lot of information for other people to find. So I did end up editing mine and taking that off it.
Yeah. Cool. Right. Me and Ava are gonna take turns to draw something.